Hello everyone, and today we're going to knock out one of our maintenance items by flushing our brake fluid for our 2015 Nissan Altima. So, let's get started. And the very first thing we're going to do is obviously pop the hood. And then we'll work our way inside the engine bay, but instead of going straight to the brake fluid reservoir, we're going to focus on the battery, because we need to remove the negative terminal. So for mine, all I need is a 1/2-inch socket, and we just need to loosen up a nut. Yours might be a 10mm, it all depends which one you have. And the reason for this step is because we need to disable the ABS control unit per the service manual. And with that step complete, let's work our way to the brake fluid reservoir. Get the camera steady, and let's remove the cap, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Lift it up, set it aside, and see if I can bring my camera a little more. And as you can see, we have a little strainer right there we need to remove. So I'm going to try to get my 2 fingers in there and remove it. Usually I can do this with one, but it's a little slippery. So I'm going to take my 2 fingers and go outward while kind of inching it up. So there's a little bit up right there. Work it a little bit more. And there we go. And try not to drop it either. So it looks like it's in good condition. Set that aside. And with the majority of my brake flushes, I can usually use a turkey baster because I can usually get it in there and just suck all the old fluid out. Unfortunately, there's no room for this particular one. So I'll have to pull out something a little bit bigger. And this is a handheld vacuum, part of a brake bleeder kit. And it comes with a cup, long hose, pretty much everything you need. So I'll just see if I can tuck that hose right in that little hole right there. Get it all the way to the bottom of the reservoir. We're going to try to empty this out as best we can. And I'll back off my camera, so bear with me. So this looks like a good position. Yep, it's pushed forward, so that's on vacuum. And let's start pumping. And there's quite a bit of fluid in here, so this may take a few moments. And that cup looks just as full as I want. Let me put on pressure, give it a few pumps. There we go. And with this old fluid, we're going to throw it right in our bleeder bottle, which we're going to use for later. You're going to want a little bit of fluid in this anyway. Might as well use the old stuff. And I'm trying to do this without making too much of a mess. So set that bleeder bottle down. Take our cup off. I don't want to drip any of this brake fluid anywhere. It's actually really bad for your interior. And there we go. Pour it right in there. So far so good. Didn't spill too much. So we'll put our cup right back on. And we'll put this back on vacuum and continue pumping. Same thing once again. We'll take what we have in there and pour it right in our bleeder bottle. Can never have too much in there. And this should be the last one. There's only a little bit left in there. Yeah, we're starting to get some air pockets. That's good. So just for convenience, let me disconnect our handheld. Then I'll start pulling the hose right out of the reservoir. Hopefully without spilling a drop. And with our old brake fluid in the bleeder bottle, let's put the top right back on. And this is about the exact amount we need. It's just heavy enough and it's got plenty in there. So let's put that screen or that strainer right back in. Nice and clean. Beautiful. And now let's grab one of our small funnels and refill our brake fluid reservoir. And this only requires .3 brake fluid, pretty common. And we're going to fill this up pretty much to the top. We're going to do it really slowly because with that strainer in there, it makes it really easy to overflow. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time. And I'm going to keep going pretty much until I get all the way up to the strainer because this is going to drain out as we pump all of our brake fluid through our system anyway. So that looks pretty good. Let's get the funnel out. And I'll show you what we got. So right there, we're at the very top of the strainer. Now you want it between the mid-max line, but for this one, we're going to be right at the max line or right at the very tippy top, which is perfect. So we'll put the cap right on. We're not tightening it. We're just setting on top so no debris can fall in there. So now we can get our exercise in for today, work our way under the vehicle, and I'll show you our jacking points. Right here under the vehicle is our pinch welds. That's where our jack stands and service jack will go. Now here's something I want to share with you that was odd. Typically when I do a brake fluid flush, the order is furthest away from the reservoir and then start working my way closer to it. However, for the 2013 service manual, it changes the order completely. And then 2014, it changes it again. And since this is a 2015 Nissan Altima, we're going to be using the last order, which means we're going to start on the front passenger wheel. So we'll start by loosening the lug nuts with a 21mm socket and a breaker bar. We're not removing them completely, we're just breaking them loose before we lift up the vehicle. Then we'll slide our service jack under the vehicle at those pinch welds and lift it up. We just want it high enough off the ground just so we can get the wheel off. And I'm going to put all the weight on the jack stand, but I'm going to leave the service jack under there just as a safety precaution. Next, let's fully remove all those lug nuts and remove the wheel. And I'm just using an impact driver just for convenience. So there's the last one right there. Lift the wheel up and roll it aside. Next, let's work our way in and remove the bleeder valve cap. If you don't have one, no big deal. And then we'll grab our bleeder bottle and hook our hose straight to it. It has a zip tie at the end, so if you have to tighten up, you can. Now the bleeder bottle is down right there, but we need to lift it above the bleeder valve. By having it above it, all the air bubbles are going to go straight up the hose instead of back in the system. Now we can loosen up our bleeder valve, and I'm going to use a 10mm wrench. Typically you want a flare nut wrench, but I don't have any, sadly. And it looks like I was able to loosen it up, so I'm going to turn about 180 degrees, and a little bit of brake fluids come out. That's great. Let's get that hose above the bleeder valve. Again, we're going to prevent any air from going in the system. That definitely would be bad. So that looks like it's steady. So let's now begin pumping the brake pedal. And we're going to go pump this several times, pretty much until we get clean fluid throughout the hose. So this may take several pumps. And you can see the more I do it, the cleaner it's getting. And that looks pretty good. So let's tighten up the bleeder valve. We're just going to make it snug. And then as carefully as we can, let's remove the hose for the bleeder bottle. And if you make a mess, no big deal, but you do need to clean up all that old brake fluid, because it will damage your paint. So let's torque down that bleeder valve, and this is only going to require 69 inch-pounds. Now if you don't have a torque wrench, no big deal, just make it snug and don't over tighten it. So it felt pretty good. Let's put our cat right back on. Looks nice. And let's install the wheel and lug nuts. And again, I'm using an impact driver just because it makes my job quicker and easier. Lower the vehicle. And then we'll torque the lug nuts down to 83 foot-pounds, and we're going to do this in a star pattern. So that's one down. And we got to work our way back under the hood and top off the brake fluid. You always want to make sure your reservoir is topped off. You don't want it to go low. The last thing you want to do is let this thing run out. So we'll top it off to the very top. Very gently remove our funnel and place our cap right back on top of it. And we'll repeat the exact same steps on the driver's side as well. And now we're at the halfway point, so let's focus on the rear passenger wheel. Now this procedure is very similar to the other ones. The only difference is where the bleeder valve is. So you're going to use a different wrench and a different torque spec. So just like the other ones, lift up the vehicle, set it down on our jack stand. And this one I'm going to use just hand tools just to show that it can be done. And now let's remove the wheel, bring in our camera, and same spot as earlier, let's take our cap off, if it doesn't fight you too much. And if you notice, it does require a different wrench size, so we're going to grab an 8mm wrench for this one instead of our 10. So let's get our bleeder bottle in place. Same thing, we'll hook it up to our bleeder valve first. And we want it nice and snug, obviously, don't want any air in there. So that feels good and tight. And the same idea, we're going to have that brake fluid go up and into the bottle. So you want fluid in there to keep air from coming back into the system. So that looks like a good spot right there. I don't think it's going to drop. So I'll take that 8mm wrench, loosen it up, work our way to the driver's seat, and pump out all this old brake fluid. Just remember to periodically go top off your reservoir just so it doesn't go empty. And I think that's as clean as it's going to get. Let's snug up our bleeder valve. Remove our hose for our bleeder bottle. Try not to make too much of a mess. And we got to drip a little bit. So like we said earlier, you want to make sure you clean this up and don't leave it behind. So I'm going to grab a brake parts cleaner and a shop towel. Just spray it down and wipe it away. And the last difference between the front and the back is the torque spec. We're going to torque this down to 73 inch-pounds. And again, if you don't have it, just torque it till it's nice and snug. And then we'll put that cap back on. And if you know those caps, I'll leave some in the description, just in case if you want them. And obviously reassemble everything back on. And again, I'm going to use hand tools just to show it can be done. And just like the front wheels, let's torque these lug nuts down to 83 foot-pounds. And this is going to be in a star pattern. And for our very last wheel, this is going to be our rear driver's side. Just repeat the exact same steps we did on the rear passenger side. And for the very last time, let's top off our brake fluid reservoir. So we'll use our same funnel and some .3 brake fluid, and we'll top it off right to the max line. We don't need to go all the way to the very top, but you want to be right around the max area. So that looks pretty good. Let's get our funnel out the way and reinstall our cap. And then we'll move back to the battery and reinstall our negative terminal. So we'll put that right on stud. Feels pretty good. And we'll snug it up with our 1/2-inch socket. And that will work. Feels good. So let's button her up so we can go for a test drive. And ideally what we're looking for is, when you press on the brakes, you want to see if it feels squishy. It should feel solid. You should feel almost like an instant response. If not, you may have air in the system and you may need to bleed all your brakes again. But overall, these actually feel really good. Great response. Well, if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe.